Welcome back. Welcome back.
You don't. Well, actually, you don't know that at all.
Okay, you give. Okay, are you saying that you are the one female on the planet that will give every man who wanted you a shot?
No, I am not.
Okay, then I can assume that that was correct. Let's move
Well,
on. The issue is that men are not the ones complaining about the state of relationships and dating as much as women are. Women wanted freedom of choice. Women wanted to be able to have sex with who they wanted to, marry who they want to, love who they want to, work where they want to, not work where they want to, go every place that men could go. You are the most free, most liberated group of women that ever existed on the human history, and yet you're the most unhappy. 1 in 4 out of you on some sort of psych meds. Women are the marital rate is dropping with modern women. What else do you want men to do? We've civilized the world in general. We don't even have wars. You can do whatever you want to, and you're still not happy with the world that men built. Moment. And you met a guy who wants to be married, marriage minded, your kind of guy. How long do you think from meeting him on day one? Do you think it should take before you're engaged?
Um, I would say a year. And how long for being engaged before you marry? I wouldn't want it to be that long. So maybe like 2 years.
This is why when you're young and you're 25 and stuff like that, that's why you're supposed to be waiting and not have like all that sex and all that high school wailing out. Because about like 25, you're in your prime. So if you take all those chances playing Russian roulette, you either, you might crap out, get an STD. If you don't get that, you get kids. If you don't get that, you get a whole lot of trauma. So this is why supposed to take your time in life, especially if you're a woman. If you get 2 out of 3, you know.
2 years of engagement? Is that what I'm hearing? 2 years of engagement?
Now, if you're around like 20, 21, 25, and you meet a man, it makes sense to take 2 years, a year, spending your time to get to know this person. You know? Then you get engaged. You don't get engaged as soon as you meet somebody, so you gotta add in like that year. So that's 26, 27. Now, if you survive that and you actually do like the person you picked and spent this year with, now you go forth with the engagement. By then, around 30, maybe 29, you're getting married. You see how if you plan this shit, you can actually do it the right way and lessen your chances of not getting picked?
Yeah, actually, yeah, 2 years.
Okay, so a year before you engage, 2 years engaged. Buy a dog, die alone. You're not a traditional woman. Are you a virgin?
No.
You're not a traditional woman. And I'm saying this, man, you women want traditional outcomes. Weddings, white dresses, and you're schizophrenic, psychotic non-virgins.
I seen this episode and he said all that stuff because he asked her what does she want her wedding to be like, and she named a lot of stuff, and she thought she was kind of good because she didn't have kids, but her mind is like she's a regular woman. Regular people get regular people. Unless you don't think you're regular, so you're doing this at like 30, fucking 29 years old. You done blew your youth. You're still pretty, but you think you're fucking 25 in your prime, and any man that's You're looking at men the way you still used to look at them before. Like, you're fucking nobody. It's a privilege to be with me. No, it's not anymore. Now, the older nigga that you want, that has his shit together and everything, it's a privilege to be with him. And, you know, if you're a woman that got her shit together, then it's a privilege that you both are together. But if you don't even know the simplest things, if you can't even acknowledge your own issues, how do you think the person that you're trying to impress, because like the Lord, you know, he kind of made us to see into each other, so they're going to see it. They're going to see the things you try to hide from everybody. And instead of working on those things, because you can change, you'd rather throw makeup on a pig.
With trust issues.
Interesting. So,
But the first thing I asked you for the marriage about, you said companionship.
oh yeah, like partnership.
There's no part. You can't make this shit up.
The Lord didn't design man and woman to be partners. People put that title on us. That's why we use the relationship. We're partners. A relation, that means something, two things come together, and a ship. Who the fuck steers the ship? The captain.
I mean, I would love to build an empire with the man I'm with.
Build an empire, lady. You cut hair for a living.
Yeah, I mean,
Empire of what? You couldn't.
I have other goals like real estate and.
Oh Jesus! She said it. Real estate, right?
Why?
Real estate. She's the stylist, the hair stylist with the real estate. You can't make this shit up.
He laughed because he's kind of did like thousands or maybe hundreds of shows. So when 80 to 70% of the women all say the same thing and think they're going to get rich off this little scheme they got on the side, but they cut hair or do nails and all these other little, like, you know, bartending, all these jobs that we do. And instead of getting with another man on your level and saying, one of our harebrained schemes may work, you think your one harebrained scheme is going to work by itself. I'm going to invest. You need money to invest in investments. You don't make money, so how the fuck are you going to invest money? That means you have to get a whole bunch of money and take a real big chance. If there was 2 or 3 of you, you can easily get that money up in a year. Dummy. See, when you're on the bottom, you have power in numbers. But they tricked you dumb motherfuckers that a man's only supposed to have one woman. One man with 3 women in the right plan is rich in 5 years.
On an empire. An empire, really?
An empire!
Is it worth getting married?
The fuck out of here.
And having 2 children if you gotta work?
When you're not dumb, like I said, one man, one honest man, 3 women, 2 women, and it's a wrap. All 4 of those people should be taken care of decently with the right plan. And they can start off not with no plan. Because, you know, 2 heads are better than 1. So if there's 4 of you, how can you not devise something that will come up with, you know? I say women because I've tried GMB with all males, and, you know, that failed every fucking time. Because you niggas can't keep your dick in your pants.
Full time, like you do now. For the rest of your life. You gotta... Is it worth getting married and having 2 children if you got to work full time like you do now for the rest of your life. You got to work just as hard as you're working now. You can't take a break. You got to work because you got 2 mouths to feed.
Before I play it, answer the question. Any woman, if you got to keep on working the way you're working, or maybe a little harder because you know you don't have kids, and you know having kids is a fucking job. So if you have a kid with somebody, that means you're gonna have to do a little extra work. So would you would you rather be married with a man, or would you rather be single? What would you rather do?
Is it worth it?
I feel like that would be a little bit of a struggle. I would want to be there for my kids.
She said it.
Yeah.
Women today want to be luxury married or single. You guys are so fucking lazy. Like I said, this isn't a black thing, folks. This is a modern thing. You heard it. I put the question. You got to work like you do today, and you're willing to do that. But in order to enhance your life with a husband, a mate, someone to chronicle and walk through life with you, and you would get 2 children, that is not enough of a benefit. You didn't hear her say, well, yeah, I'm going to have to work anyway, right? But I get a husband and kids? Sure. No.
You do realize you're gonna work until you're dead, right? And they tricked your stupid ass to believe I'm going to be happier by myself, even though everything costs more every couple years. My job's gonna hold me down. Me and my schemes, my Batman schemes of beating niggas in the head and fucking free dinners. And my fucking hotness. And the girls, when I let the girls out, shit, them niggas do whatever I want. You're really playing a real thin line. Like, I'm sure many of you are like, who the fuck is this guy? You broke motherfucker. Listen, I'm trying to help people not live the fate that I may have to live. Alone. Watching everything get more and seeing the only way to survive is the old way of, packing up, tribing up with people. Because, makes it easy. It's kind of what I did the science video with the science experiment gone wrong, to prove you can put any fucking people together as long as they're not crazy, and you can put them in an area and they're gonna fucking get shit done. They're gonna thrive, they're gonna survive. Why? Because survival is the key. And when it's you by yourself with strangers, nobody's fucking around. Everybody's guards up right away, so everybody's gonna be on their shit. And when you know you are all you got to survive, and that whole other outside world doesn't matter no more, nobody cares, then you understand what family is.
No, I get a husband and kids. I'm supposed to have to do less.
And moment 10, the unfair feminist.
Men have accepted that and adjusted. The difference is the women are not bringing in, women in mass are bringing this. Ask them what you want, you get War and Peace. Ask you what you bring to the table, you can't write it on the back of a stamp. You get access to my body, which is not virgin, which is not even low miles, which you've given to somebody before. And in some cases, you've even shared your womb. They're not even really feminine like women used to be. You don't even have the domestic skills, the home skills. So is it
Now, I don't agree with everything he always says, but I've lived long enough and been to multiple different places, experienced different cultures, people, been on both sides of the field, the dark and the light. And when I say women, really, women, well, there's a lot of women that forgot how to be feminine. And I want to prove it, but I don't know if YouTube's going to let me do it, so I'm going to try to do it on a low-key shadow room like this. But, you know, when you're bringing up things that I bring up to the levels, you need visuals and certain things sometimes. So I guess you guys are gonna have to look the videos up that I tell you to look up in the shadows, pause, and then, you know, learn. Cause there are major reasons why I stopped going clubbing, going to bars, a lot of things. And it's really fucking crazy because of the things I learned before I started going out in the world and I was already aware of these things. And then when I started going out in the world and niggas started getting caught up, I said, yeah, it's time for me to stop. Shit's everywhere now. It's everywhere, and they're chameleons.
So I would submit today that modern women are asking for an unfair deal from modern men.
So we should go back to 1950 and make it more fair?
Well,
No.
I tell you what. What's happening is the men have accepted this and they're deciding to, I am either not going to play this game because I cannot earn what these guys around you are earning, and they're just opting to walk away. And
What other choice do majority of men, you know, have? There's no way for 80% of men to become millionaires. So, you know, women that want $100,000 making guy, $500,000, and they're not even sevens. You know, it's never gonna happen. You're not getting picked, and those guys don't exist. So, you know.
the men who are earning that have an overwhelming amount of options. They have a plethora of options. Men in the top 10%, top 5%. I'm 51 years old and I can pick whatever I want because women all want the same kind of man. And if you have options just like you're not going to do what? Settle.
You disagree.
I just want to know why you have such a negative opinion of black women.
Do you really want to start that way off with me?
Yes, I do.
Are you single or are you married?
I was married. I am
You're
single
single?
now.
You're divorced?
I am divorced.
How long you been divorced?
Alright, let me back this up. See, the thing is, when you're dealing with somebody that's like smart, and it's not even being smart, it's just men have dealt with certain people and certain shit for so long. We'll make you look stupid with your own questions, right? By asking you questions, and then you're gonna have the dumb face, because as you know, answer the questions, and then I give you the answer at the end, and then it makes you think of all the questions you just asked, and you just wasted fucking breath talking to me when you could have fucking already knew the answer. You're just angry because somebody's speaking about something and you're taking it personal and saying, oh, he's talking about me. Sorry, you're a part of the problem. You could be part of the solution because you could change your ways. Or you can, you know, challenge people and, you know, end up looking like a jackass.
Do you really want to start that way off with me?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, they do.
Are you single or are you married?
I was married. I am
You're
single
single.
now.
You're divorced?
I am divorced.
How long you been divorced?
Since I was 40.
Any children?
And that's what kind of Kev kept warning all the women that were married. Don't break up with your husband when you're 35. When you're 40. You're in the middle ages of you're done. You're a little hot because you're young. You got experience and you got the MILF. See, you still think you could jump back in the game because you're a MILF. You don't understand what that is. It's like when a man walks in the room with a woman, but it ain't his woman. Other women like him now. Like, why that bitch with his goofy ass? It's the same thing. When a nigga claims you, you're a MILF. Now other niggas are like, oh, I just want to fuck for some reason. I don't know why. She look a little hotter. It's like wild animals. You know what I mean? The king of the jungle shit. Niggas always want to dethrone the man. Get it? But once they dethrone you and they become king, you know, kings get to choose. And you're what you are. So, when you leave the king, the real king, for the fucking jackals and the hyenas outside, the panda bears, then you end up alone. Because the king's not coming back. He's going to choose somebody else. And, you know, if they're young enough still, you know, around that 35, 40 age, we still get to pick 25 and down. So, you know, you're not competing with that. Once you let that wild fucking line off the leash, after years of being cooped up with you, what are you, stupid? He was a loving man and you caught him in his prime. You're gonna let this fucking rock solid foundational man that never royally sold his old, you're gonna let him out there with a fucking sturdy paycheck? You're a retard.
I have 4 children, 7 grandchildren.
Any sons?
I have 2 sons, 2 daughters.
Are they married, your sons?
My sons are not married.
What am
Neither are my daughters.
What am I asking black women to do that your sons would disagree with?
I think my sons kind of look at me and they don't want to be married to black women.
I said, what am I asking black women to do that your sons would disagree with?
Okay, let's back that up, because, you know, once that statement comes out of your mouth.
I just want to know why you have such a negative opinion of black women.
Do you really want to start that way off with me?
Yes, I do.
Are you single or are you married?
I was married. I am
You're
single now.
You're divorced?
I am divorced.
How long you been divorced?
Since I was 40.
Any children?
I have 4 children, 7 grandchildren.
Any sons?
I have 2 sons, 2 daughters.
Are they married, your sons?
My sons are not married.
What am I?
Neither are my daughters.
What am I asking black women to do that your sons would disagree with?
I think my sons kind of look at me and they don't want to be married to black women.
I said, what am I asking black women to do that your sons would disagree with?
I'm not sure.
Your sons look at you and they don't want to be married to black women?
Yes.
Do they love you?
Yes.
Then why don't they want to be married to what looks like you?
I'm a very forceful woman.
So what was the initial question you asked me? Then why don't they want to be married to what looks like you?
I'm a very forceful woman.
So what was the initial question you asked me?
I'm a very forceful woman.
So what was the initial question you asked me?
Yeah, what about black women don't you like? I'm a very forceful woman.
So what was the initial question you asked me?
Yeah, what about black women don't you like?
Probably the same things your son don't like about you.
That could be true.
I'm a comedian. I'm not a black comic. I didn't want a black show. I want a show. I make everybody laugh. If you focus on being the best within yourself, all that stuff will come. Right. I hear people say, get your money on, get your money on. I hate that. And that's your motivation. If you do well, the money will come.
That's what I know.
I'm a comedian. I'm not a black comic. I didn't want a black show. I want a show. I make everybody laugh.
Iron Man.
A 14-year-old protects his mama from a man who tells her straight up, on my grandma.
You say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. On my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
If you say one more word, I'm gonna knock you out. And this is at just a hot dog spot. 14-year-old protects his mama by killing this assailant who punched on his mama. End up getting arrested for murder. Charges dropped. Here we are. When you look at a situation like this, do you find any fault in the mother, the son? Is it all on the assailant? Where do you see where things went wrong here?
That nigga shouldn't have put his hands on that woman. Number two, let me show you where everybody wrong at. Nigga shouldn't have put his hand on a woman. A woman don't argue with no man.
Get your food! Woo, get the gun!
The man's not right, but imagine that. You argue with a man to get food or whatever they're arguing about, and now someone's dead. Really? Of course it's us. An argument. A fucking argument. Be careful who you argue with out there, people. It's not worth it sometimes.
Order.
If you don't have the mindset that you're the best ever, you failed already. But before you can ever